What's good, fam? This your main man, Casey for L, King Self for Life Wrestling Takes. Before we talk about AEW, I want to talk about apparently Clown Shoes, aka DoubleorNothing, has officially joined the side of the young lady who is suing Vince McMahon for the rape allegations and the boo-boo that he was doing, pooping all on her and all that stuff. Well, he's officially aligned with her. So they really trying to lock that man up. And it's funny, there was an article that came out of nowhere saying that Vince McMahon is quote-unquote trying to buy WWE back. I don't know how the clown that's going to work, but I'm like, hey, it is what it is on that. So I just want to put that out there. I'm very aware. Like I said, I didn't read the whole statement or whatever, but I'm just going based off of what everybody's talking about right now. Let's go ahead and talk about, NXT. Stephanie lost the championship. She is no longer the NXT Women's Champion. JC Jane got it out of nowhere. I don't know why Michaels made that decision, but congratulations to JC Jane. I'm like, it is what it is on that. All right, let's talk about it. The fallout of freaking Double or Nothing. Now, was Dynamite good? I'll say this. It's 50-50. Half good, and there's still a lot of things that Tony Khan and them need to get right. But I'm going to say this. That first segment, the opening segment with Swerve, Hangman, and Will Ospreay was some of the best storytelling they told in a very long time. Because the whole script, we know what the script is. Now, there's word going around because there's already a lot of people that's already, because me, listen, I'm kind of on that same bandwagon. I'll pray that this doesn't happen. But because of word that dropped, I don't know if it was Meltzer or Retard itself, somebody said that apparently Will Ospreay and Hangman both pretty much really didn't matter who won, because both of them was like, well, if I win or if you win, it's almost like we got to quote unquote do the job for Moxley. That's basically what the story is that word that came out of nowhere. And I'm like, you know what? That's terrible booking. That's an idiotic decision from doggone Tony Khan and company. He needs to stop having his behind up Moxley Hotel, get his head out that fool's behind, because Moxley has absolutely no clue what he's doing. So we need to stop with that bull job. We need to cut that mess. We need to nip that buffoonery at its root. Nip that stuff in the blood. Nip it. Nip that stuff in the bud. Nip it. So Hangman was out there talking about how he has the new responsibility of quote-unquote taking the man Moxley out and winning the men's AEW World Heavyweight Championship, but he has to give Will Ospreay his flowers, because at first, when he first got in there with Will Ospreay, he didn't think Will Ospreay was good enough to lead this company, but afterwards he realized he is, and so he kind of put him over. And as he was talking, Swerve came out, and you seen how his whole countenance changed. Because everybody is thinking about, okay, remember the beef that they quote unquote are still on right now. Swerve came out there, pretty much said, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't feel that you should be in this position right now. Because let's go back a couple of months ago when the Young Bucks pretty much said that the only reason why they screwed him over was because of Hangman. Hangman said, you must be a dumb behind. You must be, guess what he said? You a dumbass. He said, no, I didn't. Listen, now look, he said, if I wanted to screw you over, I would have did it myself. And Swerve said, you know what? I don't believe you. You full of bambo. Now, Will Ospreay is out there. Will came out there to be the inner man. And he said, look, I know you got your personal issues with this dude. In other words, you got to get over the beef. This guy right here is the one that's going to lead us. He's the one. You got to get over this, Swerve. You got to get over. And Swerve said, if you think I'm going to work with this clown right here, you done lost your dang mind. I ain't working with this fool. Hangman said the same thing. I'm not working with him either. So, Ospreay is trying to be the middleman. He's trying to be the one that's going to, quote unquote, try to get these cats together. Because they said, look, if we don't work together, AEW's in trouble. And I'm like, I like that. I like that whole in-between that's going on with them. I'm like, man, if TK can get everything else right, if he can get everything else right and be consistent, because this is the biggest problem with AEW television. Time and time again, TK will have a great segment, and then the rest of the show is just whatever. Because we all know he's the king of the random matches. Everybody and their grandma know that. Everybody. He is the king of the random matches. And that's what I don't like. So, after that segment, Swerve just walked off. Heyman was standing there, Will Ospreay, I'm like, the tension is deep. It's deep. But ladies and gentlemen, remember what I had said in my Double or Nothing review. I said if Heyman goes over, it would not shock me if MJF does win that doggone gauntlet, which is you can cash in at any opportunity you want. Hurt Syndicate comes out of nowhere. They come out of freaking nowhere. Beat the snot out of Heyman. After Heyman gets that championship, and then MJF cashes in. Now guess what? Guess who has to officially align himself with Heyman? They got to. They got to push their differences aside. They have no choice. If Heyman is the one to quote unquote take down the king of the Death Riders board jive, they all have to work together. That's basically what's going on. They have no choice. They have no choice. They got to put their difference. The personal beef that they got, both of them, Swerve going to that man's house, putting his shirt in his son's baby being or whatever, then him burning down Swerve's. They got to put their differences aside. They have no choice. They have no choice. And I love that storyteller that they was telling. I love that part. But again, in the back of everybody's mind is if Tony Khan is an idiot and he has Moxley go over there freaking all in, he's a dummy. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next segment, I think we got, matter of fact, the Death Riders came out. They went against they wanted the collaboration. It was pretty much a half of a rematch of the match. Well, I'm like, first of all, I'm like this. I'm like, I wouldn't even had that match. I wouldn't have had it. I really wouldn't. What I would have done, I would have had them respond to Heyman. I wouldn't have had that. I would have actually done some other matchup or something, but that's what he did. Went against the collaboration, and they beat the brakes off of him. That was that. Next. What was next? What was what else happened on the show? Because we had a qualification. We had two. We had two. No, we had one. We had one qualification match. We had Joshua Alexander versus my man Brody King to determine who's going to join Kenny Omega in the Fatal 4-Way for the International Championship. And then we also got where obviously, the beef going on between the Don Callis family and Adam Cole squad. I'll say this. I would tolerate one more match, because obviously the match ended in the DQ because Josh Alexander came out of nowhere and basically beat the brakes off of Adam Cole because Adam Cole was going to win the match. I wouldn't mind Kyle Fletcher and Adam Cole at All In. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't mind them two going at it for the TNT Championship, and I absolutely would not mind Kyle Fletcher going over. I really would. I would, because if you really want the Don Callis family to feel like there's somebody got to have something in the group. Somebody has to have something. And unfortunately, Adam Cole ain't really doing nothing right now. But if this is the route that you want to go, fine. I don't have a problem with it. So this will happen. The girls had a rematch from the tag team match on the pre-show. Harley Cameron, Anna Jay, Megan Bain, and Penelope Ford. And it was an unfortunate situation. Harley Cameron messed around and I don't know, she took a messed up bump. Now, I'm not sure exactly how the bump happened, but apparently she messed herself up because it possibly had a concussion. And I think her nose was broken because apparently they said she was bleeding, because I kind of fast forward through that. So Penelope Ford or Omega, one of them tried to do that one of the moves, but the way how she did it so she wouldn't really add more, damage to her body. So a lot of people was like they botched it. That's probably why, because she didn't want to add more injury to what Harley Cameron's going through. So I'm praying for Harley Cameron's situation. It's unfortunate, but that's what happened with there. What else happened on the show? We got a promo from Hurt Syndicate and MJF. I'm like, look, they look great together. I say, if again, MJF needs to be pushed into the main event picture, and the way how you get them pushed into there, Tony Khan and them, we're gonna have a guy. I think it's gonna be a ladder match. I think it's gonna be whoever climbs up there gets that thing. You get a #1 contendership match, Rich, and you can cash in anytime you want. MJF is the only person that needs to be winning that. There's nobody else. There is nobody else that needs to win that but MJF. I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen. Especially if Hangman walks out of AEW, walks out of All In with the World Heavyweight Championship. He is the only one. He's the only one, ladies and gentlemen. I'm serious. Let's see. Before I talk about Mercedes and Tony, because they was the final segment. What else happened on the show that was of importance? I'm trying to think. No, that was it. So let's just go ahead and talk about it. Mercedes is out there. You know she run around and talk about CEO all day. This girl has 50 million belts. We already know that. She's the so-called belt collector, whatever, the CEO. And she said she's getting ready to walk in the All In, and she's going to do what everybody hasn't been able to do outside of Mariah May. She's going to walk in the All In, and she's going to defeat Toni Storm. Toni Storm comes out. Toni Storm has her rebuttal. She says what she has to say. And they both get the clown, and both of them kind of was making each other laugh with their statements that they were saying. But I'm like this. Here's the deal. I know a lot of people ain't feeling Mercedes right now, but I'm telling you right now, the matchup between her and Tony, I'm expecting it to be great. Yeah, I'm kind of torn, man, because let's talk about it before I finish this. So Jamie Hayter was talking about her loss. And as she was talking about her loss, the debut of the Spider-Woman, Threkala, whatever her name is, she's from New Japan Strong or whatever, and apparently she was tag team partners with Julia. They botched it. Somewhere, somehow, the camera crew messed up, and they didn't show her. And again, see, this is another pet peeve of mine concerning AEW. Tony, please, stop with the lights. Everybody don't need a freaking light. Everybody, listen, the lights is only for something special. Now, listen, I know she's brand new in the company or whatever, but I'm like, bro, we do the lights thing almost every day. And the way how you did that, whoever was in control of the TV production or whatever screwed that whole thing up. They messed my girl's doggone debut up. She came in there. They showed her logo, and the next thing you know, all we see is Jamie laid out. That's it. So I'm like, screw the lights, man. Just screw the lights. You could have just had the music playing. Jamie interrupted in the mid out of nowhere. She looking around and like, who the heck is this woman right here? And then she come out of nowhere, beat the brakes off her. Boom, there it is. Then she do the stuff that the late Bray Wyatt used to do, where he jump over and he on the back, all his fours hanging over and bent over, all this crazy stuff he used to do. She does that same thing. So I'm like this. Great that she's in the company. I'm not familiar with her. You know, this is my first time seeing her. But they kind of botched the debut. Let's call it for what it is. They botched it. They really botched it. And that's a messed up. That's sad for her. Because you like I say, doing the stupid light stuff, it's uncalled for. You don't have to do it all the freaking time. TK, you don't have to do it all the time, dog. You do not have to do it all the time. And unfortunately, you messed up her debut. So this is Jamie's first feud. Obviously, we know that this young lady ain't losing because she just debuted. So I'm like, okay, great. Now, is the match going to be good? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be good because I've never seen this young lady wrestle. I haven't. So if you are familiar with this young lady, you know, tell me in the comment section if you've seen her work. I've never seen her work before, so this is my first time seeing her. Back to Mercedes and Tony. The two of them talking about they finna go at it, and she's timeless, and she's the CEO, and all this crap, and they was in the Eddie Guerrero household and all this and everything. So you know they paid homage to Eddie right quick, and they both quote unquote shook each other's hands, and then they both tried to do each other's move on one another, and that was basically the end. That's how basically how Dynamite went off the air. I'm like, okay, all right. So we got what, 6 weeks left, 7 weeks. 7 weeks of build. TK, you got one thing to do. You better be consistent. you better be consistent in what you get ready to do, because I'm telling you, there's so many people, and I know one of them. It's my man Ace. He's already finished with the company. He done already told me that he don't even want nothing to do with AEW no more. He said, I'm done with the company. He said after All In, he's finished. He ain't even watching it no more. So I'm like, you got so many people that's like, hey, if you make the bonehead decision by having that idiot Moxley walk out of AEW All In with that doggone championship, you are losing. Because you're so caught up in trying to please yourself and please Moxley. Forget that. Moxley ain't the dude. He ain't the guy like he used to be. He was the dude 3 years ago. He is not the guy. Moxley is not the guy anymore, Tony Khan. He's not. He is not your Roman Reigns. You're trying to book him like he's Roman Reigns. He is not. I don't give a dang how you look at it. He ain't. This Death Riders crap needs to die. It needs to die. Afterwards, Moxley needs to go on a 5-month vacation. We don't need to see him for the rest of the year. But if you had that idiot walk out of All In with that championship, like the rumors are going around, like they already said, because both Will Ospreay and Heyman really couldn't make up their decision on who wanted to go over, because they already know they got to do the job. I'm like, what is the point of this even continue to even watch this company? It makes no sense. Like I said, you got to like I love that intro. I love that beginning. I love that. That was fantastic. Oh, Ricochet cut a promo about him getting back into potentially winning some gold. It was good. He talked about Mark Briscoe and everything, how he defeated Mark Briscoe. That was a decent promo. I'll give him that. You know, so yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else I'm leaving off? I believe I talked about everything. So yeah, Dynamite, decent show. Like I said, decent aftermath. You know, we still gotta get things one by one by one. We still have to work, because there's a lot of things this company need help with. And again, it's funny. I think somebody mentioned something about creativity. I said interesting. I said talk about creativity, but unfortunately, the guy that's controlling the ship has absolutely no idea what creativity is. I said that was funny as heck. I think it was Heyman that mentioned something about creativity. I'm like, yeah, creativity. Yeah, Tony Khan is lacking that. Yeah, and then working on making debuts feel important, because that botch just screwed up everything with old girl Tekla, the Spider Woman, or whatever her name is. Like, you messed that whole thing up, because the camera was focusing in on her logo. Like, the lights popped on, you focusing in on the logo, and then next thing you know, Jamie Hayter is laid out. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't got nothing else to say. That's my honest thoughts about Dynamite. Y'all already know I'm coming to you with the straight facts. Let y'all know, like I said, show's decent. You know what I mean? It could be better. It's always room for improvement. Every week, there is always room for improvement concerning AEW. A lot of it, you know. But it is what it is. I'll holler at y'all cats later. Y'all know what to do. Hit the comment section up. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Make sure you hit that like button. I'll talk to y'all cats later. Holla at your boy.